All right, hey guys, what's going on? This this video is going to get into some critical thinking, um, and what I want you to do here is I want you to basically do as I'm asking and just envision, put yourself possibly in this place and in these situations, and then we're going to determine whether or not we think that this person is actually going to go out quietly or make a big bang. So now, imagine being Donald Trump, living this lavish lifestyle since he was in his mid 30s, even earlier, having all the money in the world that you can possibly imagine, being at the time 70 years old and married to a beautiful woman, which you don't belong with, of course, from your looks perspective anyway. Um, Imagine just having this lavish lifestyle, where all of a sudden money just really doesn't mean anything to you anymore. You have it all. You don't got to worry about it. Your family has it all. They're set for life. And then all of a sudden, one day, you decide that you're going to run for president, even though you've been talking about it all your life, but you never really put the plan in motion. Well, the reason why you put the plan in motion was because the military, the United States military, physically asked you to run for president because they needed an outsider to lay out and achieve the plan and the goal that they have known has been going on for a very long time. So we're not going to get too involved with Q right now or anything like that. But Q did state that the military did come and ask Trump to run for presidency in 2012. He declined because he couldn't beat Obama, and then he did run ultimately in 2016 and won because they know, well, at that point in time, they had a failed candidate. So anyway, so you announce that you're going to run for presidency, and from the time that you announce that you're going to run for presidency until the time that you actually become the president, you're attacked by the media. You go from being this beloved figure, which everyone liked, didn't have a problem with blacks, whites, Asians, Spanish people, Puerto Ricans, whatever. And then all of a sudden you become painted as a racist and a rapist and someone who frequently messed with escorts and hookers. Now you're married, you have children, which have to hear this news too as well. Some of the stuff you've done upon yourself, such as the grabber by the P tape and whatnot, but whatever. Guys talk. They do. Face it. If you don't think your husband might have said something like that before, then I don't know what to tell you. But you now become president, and from the day that you are sworn in, there's already an impeachment trial pretty much waiting for you because of a false, what's known as PP tape, Russian hoax collusion, that was fabricated by our own government with the former administration, with Hillary Clinton, our FBI, CIA, with the help of Barack Obama and whatnot, which was made up over the fact that you were urinated on in Russia by Russian hookers. So that hoax, we learned later that there was no Russian collusion and it failed. But every freaking day that you have to wake up, from the time that you wake up to the time that you go to bed, the media is attacking you and is spreading false information about you to the American people. And you and your close people around you know that it's not true. But many people are starting to believe that some of this is true. Once again, they call you a racist. They call you a sexist, a bigot, a rapist. Every day from the moment that you wake up to the moment that you go to bed. Now, this isn't all just mainstream media. This is the Democratic deep state that is funneling this garbage, because the CIA is in charge of the mainstream media. They didn't like Donald Trump from the moment that he stepped in office because he was an outsider. It's that simple. He did not play by the rules, and he was not part of the Boys and Girls Club of Washington, D.C. And if you can't see that, well, then you're blinded, and you've been blind, and there's no saving you. He's not part of their group, okay? They've been doing things in Washington the same way for a very long time. But now let's go back to being Trump. So we learned that the Russian collusion fails, but still you're attacked every day. We then go on to discover that the Ukraine phone call, which now you're impeached over by the House, but exonerated in the Senate. Every single day, the media beat you down. They beat your family down. They put your friends away. Well, I shouldn't say that, the media, but the media started the narrative put in place by the deep state to make people believe all this garbage. Your close friends, General Flynn, Bannon, Roger Stone, former attorneys, were all put in prison. And then they say, well, they were put in prison because they lied to the FBI and they lied to Congress. Okay. You want to believe that? That's fine. But you're not seeing the narrative here. Once again, deep state has tried everything they possibly could to take Trump down. Everything they possibly could. 99% of this stuff is fabricated. Probably the only true thing is that he has slept with Stormy Daniels. And, of course, he did say, grab her by the pee. Or whatever that was, right? But that Billy, whatever his name is, Billy Banks or whatever. Not Billy Banks, whatever. But anyway, they've come after your family. They've basically, I don't know if people know this or not, but there's been a few assassination attempts on both the president and the first lady. Now, I got that information from someone. Okay, so we're never going to know the truth anyway. But they were all foiled. There was actually one last Saturday, from what I heard, that was very close to being played out, but it got foiled, thankfully. So you have attempts on your life. You have the media basically putting you down, putting your family down. You have the government putting your friends away, serving 20, 30 months for what? Okay, so now, and 70% of the American people knows that this election was fraudulent and it was stolen, and that there was foreign entities in coordination with our deep state. And so you understand, the deep state isn't just America, it's global. It runs all over the place. So in coordination with the deep state, had this plan. First, it was ushered in by COVID, which was a bioweapon from China. Then the COVID basically allowed for the mass mail-in balloting. However, that is how they got caught. I don't know if you know that. The first plan of switching and flipping the votes wasn't enough, because the numbers that Trump received on election day completely screwed the algorithm up. So that's why a lot of this you saw, if you were watching the election, stop the counts. Yeah. So that's when they had to bring in these ballots, which were already pre-printed, Plan 2, or I should say Plan B, and then that's how they ended up getting caught. So now imagine all this for the past 3.5, 4 years. You've went through what I've described with the mainstream media, what they've done to your family, what the government and deep state has tried to do to you. And now you know that the election is fraudulent. And then you've tried every legal way that you possibly can to expose the corruption and the fraud that everyone's witnessing and pretty much knows. Now, there's still a lot of people who are in the dark about this, but they're always going to be in the dark. Doesn't matter. We're never going to save them. So you have these aces sitting up your sleeve. Now I'm going to use this example. Say your house is broken into and you got 6 cameras. And of those 6 cameras, 3 of them show a fantastic shot of the person, but it's more from like a side profile, and everybody knows who that person is, but you don't got the facial recognition, so you can't bring it to court. You can't, the proof's there, but it's not there. The cops won't do anything about it. The courts won't do anything about it. But yet, you know that you have these other 3 cameras, which show this person's face perfectly. However, you've just been basically putting them on the side to see if they would rule in your favor in the first place, based upon the evidence that you've already had. But they didn't. So now you got to bring out the guns, the big guns. You got those 3 cameras. So that's the same thing with this election. After studying Donald Trump and knowing the type of person that he is, I don't think that he's quietly just going away and that we're never going to hear of him again. Something about this man and what's been going on the past week tells me that we are in for a bang, an ending. And what Q has been saying would go into respect to what I'm thinking, but I don't want to even, this is solely based upon Donald Trump's personality and the type of person he is, and what the mainstream media, along with our elected officials in the Democratic and Republican Party and deep state have done to him over the past 4 years. That's all that this is about. Now, that doesn't mean that Trump's going to storm into the Capitol on Wednesday and say, well, I'm taking over because I'm a communist dictator and I'm going to run this country because I'm a communist dictator. No. Okay? Because if none of the shit that happened in the election never took place, I wouldn't be doing this right now, because guess what? That means that Joe Biden would have won fair and square. It would have been a free and fair election, and that's it. But we know. You say, how do we know? We know. Is it going to get covered up? I don't think so. Knowing the type of person that Trump is, he's never given up in his life. Have you seen him on a lot of these coronavirus updates? The mainstream media would try to ask him a stupid ass question, and he would hit them right back. Where have you ever seen that in a president before? And it's because the questions are stupid. They're gotcha questions. That's all they were. He hits back everybody all the time. He's a fighter. He doesn't just simply curl up in a ball and go away. With attempts on his life, if that is true, which I do believe it is, look at where Air Force One was when the Las Vegas shooting took place. You may learn something about that. But yes, there was several attempts on his life. And from what I was told, let's go back here. See. From what I was told, the last one was 9 days ago. So if that indeed is true, That's kind of scares me a little bit that it got that close. But knowing the type of person that he is, it's going to take critical thinking to just visualize, is all this stuff that is going on in Washington, D.C. truly for an inauguration? Why have over 2,000 National Guard been sworn in to temporarily act as marshals, U.S. Marshals? Do you know what U.S. Marshals can do? Why? Why is that? There's something more going on, okay? But if you follow Q, you already know that. But I don't even want to put Q into this conversation, because if you're just looking at things verbatim, there's something going on. Has Trump signed the Insurrection Act? Based upon what I'm seeing, I 100% do think so. What has he done with the executive order about the election fraud in foreign entities in our elections? I don't know. The report was given to Congress on the 7th, the day after the certification of the vote. And if Congress really thought that Donald Trump was just going to go away quietly with 9 days left in his presidency, why the impeachment? Why is the deep state and Democrats and Republicans trying to oust him as much as they possibly are? Why have they tried? You haven't figured it out yet? Do you think he's just going to lay down and walk away quietly? Or do you think that the next 36 hours are going to be probably the best thing that may have ever occurred? I shouldn't say the best thing that will ever occur in our country. Do you think that? Are you a believer in that? Or are you a believer in the fact that he's just going to walk away quietly? Now, I could see how he walks away quietly. Maybe Melania got to him. That's always a possibility. Maybe she said, enough's enough. It's either me and Barron, or you're on your own. You know, we are human beings. We have families. Donald Trump is the president of the United States, but he also has a wife and a teenage son, and also other sons and daughters. But after everything that they've done to him in office, he knows that if he does not fight this, he's pretty much a dead man, both in his family, outside of office. They're going to investigate. They're going to make up shit trying to put him behind bars. And his family, his kids, everyone that's associated with that name is going to have a horrible future in this country if he doesn't do something about this. And he has a chance to do it. Is he going to walk away, or is he going to use the aces that he has up his sleeve that are legal aces? Okay, they're not just, I'm walking in and taking over the presidency because I'm Donald Trump. And if the fraud, election fraud, can be proven, which I do believe 100% that it is, the American people will see that. And that's where we stand. So it's either Trump walks away and is pretty much in jail. He either fights and America is saved, and that's it. There's nothing else to say. But I need you to critically think. So when you get done with this video, watching this, think what you would do if you were in the position. And then try to envision everything that's going on in real life that you see. And don't even watch this mainstream media. The only thing they're good at is showing pictures of these damn troops in D.C. But I got personal people telling me that they're going to at least be there for 30 days. Why do they need to be in D.C. for 30 days? Why has there been troop movements all over this country? maybe the news on China attacking us is actually false information to put these pieces of the puzzle together. It's a lot to think about. And we're getting down to the wire. And God bless us and God bless the United States. But those are just some things to think of over the course of tonight. And then we'll see what tomorrow brings. Now to bring Q into the picture. Q has always said that the 19th of January is National Popcorn Day. So that basically means that tomorrow should be when things, if they're going to, begin to pop off and you start to see some proof rather than just hearsay. Now, does that mean that it's going to be at 12:01 this morning, 12:01 p.m. tomorrow afternoon, or 11:59 p.m. tomorrow night? I don't know. We don't know. Maybe it's not even going to be tomorrow. Maybe it's going to be on Wednesday morning when we wake up. But to think that he's just going to quietly walk away, I don't see that from a personality perspective or an egomaniac perspective. I don't see that in him. We're going to learn sooner or later. Thanks for viewing. As I said, think about all that stuff that I just said. Think about what you would do if you were in that position, and then try to develop an outcome of what you think may happen based upon the decisions and what you've known and what you've experienced. You may have a better insight on things tomorrow and the next day and maybe many days to come. We'll see you. Thanks for viewing.